Welcome to episode number 3 of the Hometown Heroes little mini pod series thing that we got going on. I got my friend Robin and my pal Lucas with me. Lucas, how are you, bud?
Fantastic. How are you? You good?
No, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
I am, some might say, elated.
Elated.
I think that is the proper term. Do you know why, Lucas? Do you know why?
Does it have anything to do with CD Lamb falling in the first round?
Bro, we got CD
to a team
Lamb.
that I said he would not fall to.
He would not fall at all to us. I had no inclination that would possibly happen. I thought for sure he was going at 12 to the Raiders. We talked about that in the pod last week.
I thought he was going first. I thought he'd be the first of the wide receivers.
Yes, but Ruggs went first, and then Jerry Jeudy, and then Lamb fell right into us at 17. We didn't have to trade up for him or nothing, bro. I'm so happy.
It feels good when someone falls. Because
Yes.
when someone falls to you, you're like, ooh. It feels good when you're like, oh, we're not drafting for need. We're drafting because this guy is a stud.
Absolute stud. Game changer right out of the gate, bro.
So first off, Mr. Jackson, do we have any comments from last week's episode, maybe?
Oh, you were correct. Let's look up.
What a guy. Look at him lacking on me. Yeah, I want everyone to know. Pre-pod, I asked this man, we have any comments? Yeah, nothing. All right.
I didn't hear you. But
He's an unbelievable human being.
Here's the thing. I probably wasn't listening all that
He's
well.
too excited about CD Lamb.
It's really been a thought in my head for a while. My initial reaction, I wish you guys could have seen my initial reactions to that. I clapped so hard, like I think I sprained my wrist a little bit or something.
Yeah,
I told Lucas
6 picks later.
Yeah, I was like, dude, my hand hurts. And Lucas like, what do you mean, brother? And I was like, dude, my hand hurts. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I think I clapped so hard that I messed up my wrist somehow. I don't know what happened, but dude, I was genuinely ecstatic. As far as comments, no. Casey is once again lacking on us. It is your fault, Casey.
I have a comment. Was that you trying to talk like me?
Well, you mean like this, brother? Yeah. You sound like that. What?
I can't stand you.
You love me and you know it.
All right. Anyways, for this week's pod, obviously we got to talk about the draft, or not pod, but this ain't the pod, but it's part of the pod. We know what it is. Everyone
this
knows.
This week's in our Hometown Heroes video. Yeah.
So, anyways, we're gonna go through the rounds. Obviously, hitting the big 3 or the big 2, and then maybe just kind of throwing the rest of them kind of under the bridge. But
yes.
Anyways, we got a number 1, Jackson. I just need to know, how do you feel about the Cowboys draft overall?
Okay. Overall, Cowboys draft, I feel like this is one of our most solid drafts in a long time. Pro Football Focus rated us an A+, right? So there's kind of that indication of where we are in terms of the spectrum of how well we drafted. I feel like every pick was solid. Obviously, the first pick being CD Lamb. Did he address a need? No. But when you get a guy like CD falling to you at 17, you take him. It's a no-brainer. He's just an absolute stud. And in a league where offense means more than anything and quarterback production means more than anything, you surround your guy with as many weapons as possible. That's one of the keys to success in this league right now. So right. I'm super happy with the Cowboys draft overall.
So what about excuse me, compare it coming out of a draft with Dak Prescott and Zeke.
Ooh. See, here's the thing.
I know you've been really excited about this draft, so the thing about that draft is that the people developed into stuff that you didn't necessarily think they would become.
Right.
Specifically Zeke. You didn't think, or not Zeke, I'm sorry. You didn't think Dak was going to be your starting quarterback.
Dak was, coming in after that draft, Dak was literally the fourth. He was the fourth quarterback on the depth chart. It was Romo, and then it was Kellen Moore, and then it was someone else random, like Jamil Showers or something, and then it was Dak. Dak was number 4 on the depth chart, literally fighting for a spot on the roster. And Romo went down. Dak got a lot more playing time in the preseason and won the starting job in the preseason. So, I mean, that was probably the most surprised I've been by a pick in a long time, but we've drafted really well the past couple of years. I mean, Jalen Smith, picking him up for a future playing time, even though he wasn't going to come in and play the first year. Like, just having the foresight. Now he's an integral part of our defense. Leighton Vander Esch, right? Zach Martin, okay? Absolute studs. So, DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, we've done a really good job drafting overall. This draft, I feel like, I don't know if we're going to have that fifth round gem that's just going to come in and be as impactful as Dak. So I feel like the 2016 draft's probably better for us because I think we include Jalen Smith in there, but I think we got him like the 4th round or something. And he was projected to be like a 1st round middle linebacker talent. So we'll see how it holds up in the, spectrum timeline of all of this. But I'm really am pleased with the draft. I feel like we addressed a lot of good needs. We got Diggs in the 2nd round too, Trayvon Diggs, who was in I'm in the last pod you mentioned like how you would really like him to fall to you in the 1st round, and so we were able to get him in the 2nd, and that again absolute stud. So I feel like we hit really well on this draft.
Yeah, I'm same way. It was a good draft. It feels good. So let's hop right into the picks. All right, that we got. So 1st round, Mr. Jackson, Cowboys got
CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver, Oklahoma. What else do I have to say, guys? I mean, Jerry was jumping up and down in his yacht. I mean, okay, first of all, can we talk about Jerry?
What about my man? Can
we
Jerry
talk about my dude like super flexing
on?
He was super flexing on everyone. Everyone else is drafting from their house with their family, doing their thing. Coaches study in the house. Acceptable, cool. Jerry said, "Nah, I'm gonna go to my $250 million super yacht, right, and just draft from there. Why? Because I can. Because I'm Jerry. Why not?
How do you get internet out there that's like good enough to be doing this?
He figures it
out. That's what
dude.
I want to know.
This dude's got a crazy hotspot or like a Ethernet connection.
My man's got a direct
water.
link. Yeah, he's got an Ethernet cable all the way out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, that's strong enough for fish nibbling at it. Doesn't matter. I don't know what it's literally made of gold. I think it's ridiculous. So he drafted from his yacht. I remember watching the draft and you could see Jerry and he was like visibly excited when pick number 17 came around, and he was like, he was kind of, he was a little giddy, do a little one of these little numbers, a little smiling a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And and Mike McCarthy was on the phone, and he was super. You could see a smile on his face. So, I mean, what's there not to like about CeeDee Lamb? He's a full package. He comes in as a stud. He's going to be great in the slot for us. We already lost Randall Cobb. I feel like this is an upgrade straight away. I feel like he has potential to be an eventual number 1 target for us down the road. We already have Amari Cooper. We have 2,000-yard receivers already on our team. We're going to add in CeeDee Lamb. He's going to get a lot of looks. I feel like it also opens up the passing game for Zeke, right? Zeke, we forget, like, yes, he's a good runner, right? I think absent the nose ring he is. But, like, in screens and in the passing game and stuff, like, you're guarding one of the best route runners in the game, Amari Cooper, right? You're going to have to look at Gallup. You can't ignore him. Lamb coming in out of the slot, but don't forget about Zeke. Zeke can be out of the backfield. He's as good as anybody. I think the only one better for him out of the backfield catching the ball is probably Christian McCaffrey. Absent of that, he's probably the best one in the league. So I don't know, man. I'm super excited. I'm elated.
You're feeling good, Jackson, ain't you? You thinking number 1 offense in the league next year because we got CeeDee Lamb.
I mean, Dak Prescott led the league in passing yards without CeeDee Lamb. So
couldn't beat the practice squad.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Until y'all make the playoffs this year, that's all I'm going to say.
We have a lot of needs at a lot of different positions, but when you get a stud like that, can't pass him up. I'm super happy with our 1st round pick. What about you?
Yeah, we were watching the draft live, and it was like, there's no way. Like, you have to, as soon as the people before you didn't take it, it was like, well, Jackson, you got to take CeeDee Lamb. Like, this has to be CD.
Have to. Absolutely have to. We could have gone need, but no.
So the Titans got right tackle Isaiah Wilson. This man is a big fella. All right, he's not quite as big as
big.
Yeah, well, he's not as big as the tackle from Louisville.
Oh yeah,
Is that Mekhi Becton or something like that? But I think they showed our guy jumping up out of the pool, like
Explosiveness.
jumping straight up out of the pool onto the ledge,
What's he,
onto the
like 350 or
concrete.
something? And
He
he's
is.
jumping
He's
straight out of the
350.
pool?
He's the biggest lineman on the team automatically. Boom, biggest offensive tackle we got, or offensive lineman.
Dude, I want to see him on the Bus with the Boys pod. I just want to hear him
He's
and
gotta
Taylor
be.
talk
He's
about
gotta be.
talk about him, dude.
And so he's gonna come. He's from Georgia, so I'm happy with him. I wanted Grant Delpit or even the Xavier cornerback that fell. I thought he should have been drafted earlier, but he wasn't. And I don't know. I was a little at first. I was a little happy and a little upset because I knew we needed a corner, and we had Dennis Kelly already that we re-signed, and I was like, it's okay, he can plug in. But then I remembered what the Titans' offensive line looked like for the first half of the year last year when our rookie right guard that we drafted in the 3rd round was hurt.
Yeah.
And Taylor Lewan was gone. And then our right guard came back, and Taylor Lewan came back, and it still looked bad. And it took half a season for our rookie right guard to actually become something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, good pick. Future starter at right tackle.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Especially because didn't you guys lose Conklin? Jack Conklin?
Yeah, we lost Conklin, but then we re-signed Dennis Kelly. So I was in my head, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
he can play. He can play for a year there, and we can draft an understudy that can wait a couple years. But I'm assuming coming into the draft, the Titans were really big on like we need a right tackle, a cornerback, and we need a backup halfback, and we need some defensive line help. But like, I think when they were looking at it, I guess they believed that a cornerback could fall to them. Like they could get a better cornerback later than they could get a right tackle later.
Yeah.
And it's just like at the time, like this is the last good right tackle, and he was the last like stud.
Yeah, you weren't going to be able to get he was going to go before you guys can get him back in the 2nd round.
Right. And so we went ahead and got him. And so I'm overall I'm happy with it. I'm happy. He's supposed to be an incredible run blocker, and his pass blocking is supposed to be okay.
Didn't they show him on TV like pushing a truck? Like
I think that was the
else?
Becton guy. I think that was the other guy.
I was going to say because I saw some lineman on there literally pushing a F-150 just across a football field or something, a parking lot. Like it was ridiculous.
The Becton guy is like 380 or something. I think that's who the guy from Louisville. I think that's right. I don't know 100%. I'll find out before our actual pod when we really talk about these people. But right now it doesn't matter. We're only worried about the Titans and the Cowboys.
That's right. Solid pick in the 1st round. Solid pick.
Second round, Mr. Jackson. Wait. What do you give your team like grade wise for 1st round?
A+, bro. I mean, absolutely. I feel like. Do what?
Same.
A+. I think we hit really well in the 1st round. I mean, what else you have to say about CeeDee Lamb and a guy that can come in and start at right tackle? I mean, immediate impact players.
2nd round, Mr. Jackson.
2nd round, we drafted a guy that you really liked. Mentioned it before. Cornerback Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama.
Yep.
Solid guy. Obviously, we had to address the need here. In the 1st round, we went for, complete talent, like big name stud, as opposed to what we need. We needed a corner. We just lost Byron Jones in free agency. So we addressed that. Trayvon Diggs, I feel like he's a guy that can come in and be physical right away. I'm not sure if he's going to start straight away. I imagine him coming in maybe being like a nickel, working his way into a starting job. But definitely a guy that we can develop and will be a future starter. I'm really happy with the pick. I was surprised he fell to us, to be honest with you.
So I was surprised our guy fell too. We also got a cornerback. We got Kristen Fulton.
Yes.
And I was super surprised this man actually fell to us. So let me just little stat line, all right?
Okay.
Kristen Fulton against Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, and T. Higgins.
Yeah, so
you ready?
3 of like the top draft prospects, wide receivers.
Well, 2 of them were literally the first 2 wide receivers taken.
Yeah.
11 targets, 3 catches for 39 yards, and 0 touchdowns.
That's
And he
it,
had three pass breakups.
dude. So he's shutting down Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy and T Higgins. Wow. So you guys got an
Ain't that
absolute
awesome?
stud of a corner in
Yeah,
the
he runs
second
like a
round.
4-4. He runs like a 4-4-6 or something like that. So I think he's going to come in immediately, and honestly, we'll probably play him on the outside. I think we'll have him and Adoree on the outside probably, and then throw Malcolm Butler on the inside with where Logan
Cover the
Ryan
slot.
was, and have him play
Yeah.
that slot nickel spot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
I'm telling you what, man. Like, just in general for both of our teams drafting, I saw Pro Football Focus. They rated like the different drafts, across the league. And I think the Cowboys like number 2 and Titans like number 4 or something like
I
that.
think we were top 5. Yeah,
Top 5, like both of our teams being top 5 as far as drafts, I feel like is incredible this year. I mean, it was such a deep class, but I mean, we really hit on all of our draft picks, or at least for most of them, for the most part.
yep. I really
Super
felt
excited.
like we talked about this before. Like the draft this year was going to be crazy because it's all online and everything, and
Yeah,
the scouts haven't, not the scouts, but like the people making all these drafts, all these mock drafts, all the people on TV,
yeah,
Mel Kiper and all these people haven't been talking to the people they usually can in person because they can't go to the pro days and
yeah.
talk to scouts that are there and stuff like that. And so I thought there were some names that were taken, and I was like, huh? And then there were some people, and I was like, wow, don't know you exist, but congratulations.
But congratulations, man, for real. Like, yeah, I've been hearing kind of through the grapevine. This was kind of like a scouts draft because the executives aren't able to go and attend these pro days either, or get like full reports on everything. So they're really trusting their scouts and kind of on them to do their homework. And our head scout Will McClay, feel like he needs a pay raise after this draft, and he's drafted well over the past couple of years. He's the guy that obviously it's up to Jerry and it's up to Mike McCarthy and Stephen Jones, but who really make the decisions. But this guy is like handing them all of the necessary information and providing them with the right stuff. So shout out to Will McClay, our head scout, because dude,
He's a legend.
absolute legend, and John Robinson as well, right? Just GM for the Titans, just absolute stud. Absolute
Ah.
stud.
So, anyways, Mr. Jackson,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
third round.
Third round was a bit interesting for us. We didn't address kind of a need. We just kind of addressed depth here. So we went for defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, right? So, I mean, might as well change this logo to the OU logo, okay, with the people that we drafted, honestly. Well, I got a Cowboys hat on for you guys, so you guys aren't listening. But Neville Gilmore, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. I mean, this guy he's huge. He's big. He's a big-time run stopper. I saw in his he did like a little Twitter, like little quick 30-second clip or whatever. He's like, Cowboys fans, you guys have no idea who y'all just drafted late. I promise y'all it's going to be worth it. We're absolutely going to go out there and like slaughter everybody. Like he was super excited and ready to go. I think we drafted him at. I saw a little note here. Okay, so Pro Football Focus, they rated some of our. We're talking about the top 3 picks here. They rated some of these different players. They rated CeeDee Lamb number 6 in terms of the board, right? The entire draft board, they had CeeDee Lamb at the number 6 talent, and we drafted him at 17. They had Diggs at 31, and we drafted him, I think, at 51. And then they had Neville Gallimore, the guy that we just got from Oklahoma. They had him at number 51, and we got him in the 3rd round. So it's like 80-something picks somewhere in there. So anyway, we drafted really, really good in our first couple of rounds.
Right.
I'm happy with it. It builds depth at our defensive line position. We've been kind of revamping that with Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy, and we brought in Alden Smith. And of course, we have Lawrence, and so we've just been adding some pieces at that depth. Mike McCarthy's changed us up to a 4-3 this year, which I think is good for us because of Leighton Vander Esch's potential durability issues. So it's not gonna make it so like if he's out, then we have an extra backup that has to come in. You know, Sean Lee will be able to come in right away, and our next best backup can come right in and fill that hole. And we're really relying on the defensive line. So added some key depth there. I'm happy with it.
I got you. So the Titans got a halfback. Okay, all right. Darrington Evans, speed guy. All right. Before I talk more about him, I want to name a cool stat I seen today. There's like three players in history to ever have like 1,000-yard rushing season, like a punt / kickoff return, and then like X amount of receiving yards or something. It was some like super weird specific stat.
Yeah.
The three people that have ever done it are Chris Johnson, McCaffrey, and this guy.
Oh, did you low key just get a stud running back in the third round?
He's super fast. He runs like a 4.4 or something below that or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he can catch the ball out of the backfield. All right, because we need a third down receiving back. He's kickoff return, punt return. We needed that. And he also can play like gunner on punt, and he can go off on kick return or on kickoff.
So extremely versatile.
Yeah, it's like your perfect Mike Vrabel Tennessee Titan player.
Yeah,
like this man can play like 14 different positions. He can do all this stuff, and we got him in the third round. And so I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's pretty awesome.
Heck yeah, man! Because you get a replacement there for Dion Lewis. You have Henry coming in and pounding him, kill him with the speed out of the receiving back that opens up screens for everybody else. You know, running a couple slants, a couple little out routes, and confuse the defense.
Yeah. I mean, like when you really think about it, we had Dion. It's an upgrade from Dion. He's going to be faster than Dion. I don't know if he can block quite as well.
Right.
But faster than Dion, and he can kick off return. He can punt return. He can play special teams.
You can put him wherever you want him.
Hey, throw him in the slot. I don't care. If he's fast, do something.
Impact player straight away. That's excellent. So, the common theme I keep seeing here, Lucas, is stud.
We're just lucking into them, Jackson. We're lucking into them. They're just falling.
How do these guys fall to us? It's just I don't know. It's
falling in our laps, man. Well, it's because you got teams like the Raiders who took like that Iganojobi or what I can't even say that guy's name. You know, that cornerback or whatever they took, and like people were just like,
who?
Hello? Like a lot of people like had him rated out of the top 5 at least, and I know he definitely was one of the top 5 corners taken. So,
heck yeah, man!
I love it. Yeah. We were watching. We were on our edge the whole time, Jackson. Edge of our seats the whole time watching. It was like, ooh, that person got taken. Someone else is gonna fall. Yeah. Ooh, that person got taken.
Yes, and like, and we'll talk about this more in the pod tomorrow. But like, who would have thought that like the Colts trading for DeForest Buckner from the 49ers would cause the Niners to pick a stud D-tackle up instead of CeeDee Lamb, resulting in then Lamb falling into 17 to us. Like, who would have thought? Like, the way this draft worked was crazy. Our virtual draft party, right? Shout out to Zach and Tyler and Chase and Austin and all of our friends that were kind of in there with us, and we just kind of hung out, like had a virtual draft party. It was a great time. We ordered pizza and wings and just like chilled out, dude. It was awesome. Yep. It was a fun time.
I made some wings. I had some dip. Yeah, but what about like if you think about, I know this isn't Titans or Cowboys, but if you think about the Colts trading to get that spot,
yeah,
and then that caused apparently they had interest in Jordan Love.
Yeah,
and that's why the Packers traded up. I believe that's what it was.
We're going to talk about that when we talk tomorrow in our pod. I feel like they did my man Aaron Rodgers wrong when you trade up to go get that guy. But, hey, I mean, you know, it is a business. At the end of the day, you got to think about it for your future. But, ooh. Anyway, common theme, stud. I'm loving the picks here, Lucas.
So Titans don't have a 4th round, Jackson. So what you got?
4th round, we're adding more depth at our cornerback position. I don't know much about this guy. Reggie Robinson out of Tulsa, corner. He seems fairly fast and fairly capable. So I think it's just kind of adding in some depth for us. We're going to try and see and have our guys battle it out for the best 3 to 4, corner spots that we have on the roster. and see if he can come in and make an impact. But we address another big need there. I'm happy with it. I heard a lot of good things about him, that he was, just like for playing for the Cowboys and ready to go. Also, talk about Trayvon Diggs for a second. He's brother of Stephon Diggs, and he says that, they all kind of grew up wanting to, like, dreaming about, like, wanting to play for the Cowboys, right? Like, they all kind of, like, hypothesized it and talked about it, like, brother-to-brother conversations, And so he said when he got the call from Jerry, it was like a dream come true, and that he thinks that Stephon is jealous. So maybe later on down the line, maybe we go snag up Stephon, team up with his brother.
Hey, trade Coop for him.
Trade Coop for Stephon, low-key?
I think it'd be worth it.
Okay, I would trade Dak and Amari for Josh Allen and Stephon and a pick.
What?
Yeah, because Josh Allen's not going to ask for $40 million.
He ain't going to get you a dub either. If Dak can't get you into the playoffs against the practice squad, then Josh Allen can't do it. We've seen him choke.
It'd be a significant downgrade, that's for sure. That's why we include the pick as part of it.
And then we just draft another CD Lamb. And if you got 16 CD Lambs for him to throw the ball to, it's fine.
Eventually, it doesn't matter who's throwing them the ball, Lucas. That's the line of thought I'm taking here.
All right.
Just playing
around. Are you done with your fourth rounder?
I'm done with my fourth rounder. Yeah, I'm happy with it
for
sure.
Fifth round, what you got?
All right, fifth round. This is the guy that I really am happy about. Fourth round, I was happy. We addressed another need here. So we all know we lost Travis Frederick. He retired, and it's a significant hole in our offensive line. When he wasn't there in 2018, Dax QBR went from average at third down to 17th, and Zeke lost a full yard per carry in his stat line. It really affected him quite a bit. So we get this guy. His name is Tyler. I am so sorry if I butcher your name, dude, or somebody knows his name. Tyler Biadasz. 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 Out of Wisconsin, right? So we know up in Wisconsin, corn-fed, brother. Corn-fed offensive line. Apparently, right behind Cesar Ruiz, this guy was rated as the next best center in the draft. Some people even had him as the best center in the draft on the board. Of course, you can ask anybody, and they're going to tell you different things. However, we address a need here. Fun fact, when we drafted Travis Frederick, he came from Wisconsin. So, I don't know. So might be something there. We address a need. He's going to be able to compete for the job. We got to get a center, man. We got to get a good one. So I hope we hit here. I'm confident.
I'm telling you, man, there's specific places you draft linemen from. Georgia, yes. Alabama, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Michigan.
Texas.
Just saying, there's a common theme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Texas. I don't know nothing about Texas. They've been bad for so long that I don't pay any attention to.
Yeah, but we draft good line. We have good linemen there, bro.
Yeah, you just can't win football games.
Correct. But we got good linemen.
We got defensive tackle. Also, sorry if I butcher this guy's name. Laurel Murchison, something like that. Anyways, so this guy, everything, and I think this is pretty cool. Everything I read up on the guy, it sounds like he is Jurrell Casey 2.0.
That's high praise, Lucas.
He's supposed to come in, and they talked about he's got tinier legs. Jurrell Casey gets Taylor Lewan makes fun of Jurrell Casey for his tiny legs.
Mm-hmm.
And his big upper body. And so it's just I just feel like it's awesome. Obviously, coming out, he's not as talented and stuff as Jurrell Casey. And he's never going to amount to the player in the Titans franchise that Casey meant to the franchise, especially considering when Casey played in a time when the only thing we had to cheer for in Tennessee was Jurrell Casey and Delaney Walker.
Yeah. No kidding.
And
that's awesome, man.
So we'll see how that goes. But I thought it was pretty cool that everything I read about him it really sounds like he's a Jurrell Casey 2.0. So the Titans didn't get a 6th round pick, Mr. Jackson. So the 6th round belongs to you.
6th round does belong to us. So actually here we had 2 4th round picks. So before we picked up Reggie Robinson from Tulsa and Tyler Biadasz out of Wisconsin. In the 5th round, we get this guy named Bradley Anai. He was a defensive end edge from Utah, and apparently this guy had something like 30 sacks throughout his college career, 2 sacks in the Senior Bowl. Apparently he is an absolute steal. He was ranked at as the 89th best player on DP Brugler's list. For you guys that don't know him, he writes for The Athletic. He's I'll call you back. My friend Jory just tried to call me. I'll call him back later. So he was ranked number 89 there. We picked him at 179. So we'll see if he turns out to be something. Again, adding depth at our defensive line positions. He's got to come in and can compete for a spot in the rotation and hopefully give us some fresh legs on those key downs and pin his ears back, go for the quarterback. I'm really happy with it. From what I've been reading up through like on Twitter and Cowboys websites and stuff. I mean, everybody's saying that this is an incredible draft. So I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. This draft has been really cool. And like I even seen a thing that was like round 1 steal, CD Lamb, round 2 steal, Titans getting Kristen Fulton.
Yes.
And then like round 3 was like, well, no, I wasn't that. I was about to say it was Jake Fromm, but he didn't go in round 3. I don't think he went till later. Jake Fromm was a steal later on in like the 5th or 4th or
5th round of the Bills, yeah.
5th round, yeah. So, cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Who'd you get in the 7th?
So we got 2 7th-round picks. We had 3, so we traded one. We traded one for a 6th round next year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then we didn't have a 4th round earlier because we traded it to get Tannehill. Good trade, 4th round pick.
Solid trade.
Franchise quarterback.
There you go. That's as good as you can want.
But we got 2 people in the 7th round. We got Cole McDonald. I believe he's a quarterback from like Hawaii.
Okay.
Or some random place like that. I think it was Hawaii. People were comparing him to Taysom Hill, but for some reason it seems like every quarterback that comes out of college right now, it's like, oh, he could be the Taysom Hill of that team. Like, Taysom Hill is a 3rd-string quarterback, but like also a 3rd-string wide receiver. So it's really weird what's happening.
3rd-string wide receiver / running back / blocker. Taysom Hill just kind of comes in and does them all. Like, you're really in like the wildcat formation, but at the same time you're not, because he can run with the ball, he can go out and try and catch, he can do some weird trick plays.
Yeah,
love really Taysom Hill.
Anyways, and then we also got a defensive back, Chris Jackson, just to add some depth in there.
Nice, very good. Love when you add depth. Here we added some depth. Took a shot at quarterback here. I haven't heard this guy before, to be honest with you, but I went and I looked at some of his highlights. He looks a little bit undersized, but he's got some legs and he's got some good upside if he can make a roster spot. Ben DiNucci, out of James Madison University. Hopefully we have some upside there. Hopefully he comes in and maybe can compete for a spot on the depth chart. Who knows? He might surprise us. We've had some quarterbacks that we drafted late surprise us in the preseason. Me and Lucas were talking before the show. Talked about Dak. We picked him up, literally surprised him. He surprised all of us out of the 4th round coming in and grabbing for a starting job. So who knows? Actually, I think it was one guy. I can't remember the name, and I'm upset for not remembering the name. But somebody had him ranked as number 5 on the quarterback draft board. Just behind Burrow and Tua and all of them. So if they had him as high as that, then maybe we got a steal in the 7th round. Who knows? I've learned of a couple 7th round quarterbacks that have done really well in this league. Tom Brady. So I'm not saying we hit on him. I'm just saying
Tom Brady was actually a 6th round draft pick.
Excuse me, but there's been
hated to put you on blast on the pod like that in front of all 6 viewers, but.
It's all of them, bro. Now I'm completely embarrassed. But overall, this draft was really well. Last thing to say, kind of about the draft, Jerry Jones has gone on to say he said this draft he hasn't felt this good about a draft or a draft weekend overall since 2005, where we drafted DeMarcus Ware, and Marcus Spears, so. He's feeling really good about this draft, man. That's high praise.
High praise, man.
So, I don't know, man. Well, only time will tell how well we did on this draft, if they were all complete busts or if some of them wound up being pretty good.
So there's one more thing I want to talk about
All right, lay it on me.
before we end the pod. And I'm trying. That's why I'm looking on stuff right now. So the window for the comp picks, the compensatory picks, has officially closed.
Nice.
I was really hoping my phone would start blowing up with news that we signed Jadeveon Clowney. So apparently, what the deal is since we lost Jack Conklin, right?
Yeah.
There's been a theory going around that since we lost Jack Conklin, we get a third round comp pick.
Nice.
But if we signed Jadeveon Clowney, we would have to give one up. And so we wouldn't get one, basically. It would even out, right?
Right.
So the theory has been that we've been waiting to sign him. And the person that came out and reported Jameis Winston signed to the Saints before anyone else reported anything also came out the other day and said that Jadeveon Clowney has agreed upon a contract with the Tennessee Titans. It is pending, number one, it had to get to the comp pick date. All right, so that we wouldn't lose a pick. And then it is also pending a physical, and that's all we're waiting on. And so I'm just over here waiting on my phone, seeing if we got Jadeveon Clowney.
I mean, that would be awesome. That's a really good theory. I think, that would be another grand move by the general manager from the Titans, right? Get you that extra little compensatory pick.
Ain't that wild? You get a third round pick just by waiting to sign a guy.
That's crazy. So if you
I
can
feel like
get him
that's
to
such a
wait,
smart
it's
play.
worth it. It's a super smart play because third round picks, I mean, they're incredibly valuable.
We got Darrington Evans, possibly the next CJ.
We got Neville, bro. We got Neville.
Old Neville.
Old Neville, man. Big fan of the hair.
So anyways, so that report came out. So apparently we have signed Jadeveon Clowney. I'm just waiting for it to be official. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Hopefully we hear some more, and we will definitely report on that in the next pod for tomorrow. That's all I got from the Cowboys draft. I'm very happy with it personally. A+. A+. I feel like we came out of it with we addressed some needs. Not all of them, but addressed some needs and got some big time players. I'm really looking forward to the season. I feel like we have some impactful players that can come in straight away and guys that can compete for a starting job in a year or two after development. So, nothing bad to say. There was nobody that we picked up that I'm like, maybe we should have done that. So, feeling good.
The happy Jackson is a good Jackson. The season has officially, it really feels like it's starting to reset. It really feels like it's a new year of football, and that's good for people that need to move on. It's bad for people like me that wish we could go back to that fateful day when the Chiefs beat us in the AFC Championship. We were a game away from the Super Bowl, Jackson.
You're so close, man. Close.
Made me cry just thinking about it.
Hey, but you're gonna make it back. You're gonna make it back. You, Lucas, had a team that went into Baltimore against the MVP and shut him down.
It's okay. I think Lamar's overrated. So
he's still the MVP.
Just like Carson Wentz.
Yeah, Zach. Carson Wentz is overrated.
Yeah,
you know who
Zach.
I'm talking to.
Carson Wentz is overrated, man.
Facts.
That's why they drafted a quarterback.
What's up? All right. You shut down the MVP of the league. We literally drafted the scenario on the pod. You were a prophet, Lucas.
Okay? It did happen.
You said, this is how this is going to happen. This is how we win the game.
That's how it happened.
Lo and behold, that's how it happened. We won the game. You went into Foxborough against the GOAT himself. And his last pass as a Patriot was a pick six to seal the deal to send you to the AFC Championship game. You played a hard-fought, close game against the eventual Super Bowl champions. Therefore, that makes you
technically we got second.
Technically, we got second.
Hey, if you look at the scores, the Titans did better than the 49ers. So
second best team in the league. What's up, AFC South?
Yeah. Yeah,
Big trust.
We got woo-woo. Derrick Henry in the flesh. Anyways, that's it. But for the next episode of the actual Go for Two pod, we got all kinds of stuff. Just
Oh,
sitting here off
yes.
the top of my head, Jackson, I can think of all kinds of stuff. You got the Patriots didn't draft a quarterback,
Not at
and
all.
Bill came out and said that wasn't like planned. You
Yeah.
got the Packers with their quarterback stuff. You got Jalen Hurts getting drafted. You got the Eagles with getting him, and you
With
got
the 49ers making 3 trades on Saturday.
There's all kinds of stuff going on, man.
Dude, we got an
The
action-packed pod for you
Man,
guys.
the Patriots pulled some voodoo stuff, and they had like 4 second-round picks. It probably wasn't that number; it's probably exaggerated, but it felt like every time I looked over in the second round that the Patriots.
We got
drafted.
Jameis Winston signing with the Saints, right?
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff.
We've had a lot of movement
David
around the
Clowney's
league.
going to be a Titan tomorrow.
Absolutely. We're going to report on it. We're feeling
Big
good.
trust.
Big trust. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Hometown Heroes. Remember, you can find it only on YouTube here in the videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep pumping these videos out and this extra content for you guys that we know you all know and love. I think that's it from us here in the studio. We will talk to you guys later.